Y'all, I made a skirt without pockets. Feel free to leave your hate in the comments below. I understand.
Hi friends! In this video, I'm going to be making a 3-panel walking skirt out of a sheet. And this is actually the sheet that matches the pillowcase that I made this waistcoat out of, which you will see here, there, I still don't remember. But yeah, so we're making a 3-panel walking skirt, which we see more kind of 5 and 7 and 9 panel walking skirts, but they did also do 3-panel walking skirts. The basis of a late Victorian walking skirt pattern is the partial circle skirt. So usually it's a partial circle skirt and then it's cut into sections, just partly because that's like how you fit it on the fabric, but also just because it makes those nice kind of long vertical lines to have the vertical seams. So it's a circle skirt cut into panels, and then the top of each panel has a dart to help bring in the waist, and then the back panel usually has a little bit extra room on the waist, which then gets gathered or pleated down to create extra fullness in the back, and usually you'd have like a bustle pad under there to help create that shape. So the 3-panel walking skirt is just the same, except usually the front panel is fairly narrow, and then the rest of the skirt is created with a larger back panel. So I've kind of drawn out right here a basic kind of 3-panel walking skirt. So as you can see, I have a more narrow front panel and then a wider back panel. And I'm going to create this with my waist measurement plus 16 inches for an 8-inch wide single box pleat at the back, which is just the style that I like. I also did that for my slightly later 18 or 1910s skirt that I did a video about somewhere here again. Yeah, so I like the single box pleat look, so I'm going to be doing that. And yeah, so I'm going to draft this with a waist measurement, like this plus this is going to be my waist plus that 16 inches, and then this is just the length I need it, and we'll see how wide this needs to be. I'll just measure. But yeah, so this is what I'm doing today, or over the next few days. I have gone and created these pattern pieces on paper. Fitting these on is going to be a struggle. I thought maybe it would be better if I did a 5-piece skirt, but I'm kind of attached to doing a 3-piece skirt, so I ended up folding these edges under slightly to make the back panel a little bit less full, and then I think that this is going to work. This one needs to be on the fold, so I think there's room for it here, and then this piece, I have this one, and then I think the other side of the larger piece I'm going to have to piece together, which is period, but also a little bit sad, but I think I'm going to do it asymmetrically and have one of the back panels cut as one and one pieced from this fabric and that fabric. So now I need to get another one of these pieces out of this and this. Let's see how it works. Huh, this actually looks pretty good. Welcome to this episode of rating random objects as pattern weights. First off, we have this roll of tape. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good, it's pretty heavy, it stays where it is. Next up, we have this bowl of clips. I give it a 4 out of 10. It's not very heavy, and it kind of moves around, so not the best pattern weight. So there's not that much that I have to piece onto this, but this line is squarely on the bias, which means that adding another piece without super like distorting this is going to be interesting. I think I'm actually going to let these pieces hang, especially the big wide ones, to see how it stretches out, see how the bias stretches out, and then I'm going to cut the piece to piece onto this, because I don't want to cut it and then sew this and then let it hang and then have this edge like weirdly sagging and puckering over the seam because I didn't let it stretch out first. So we're gonna just hang this up for a few days and then revisit it and cut a piece that fits that way. And if I have to recut this edge to make it straight, then I'll do that. It's been about 3 days and I let this hang. I pinned it up on my dress form, so this is hopefully where it's going to settle. So now I can lay out my pattern piece again and cut out the missing piece. Welcome back to another episode of Rating Random Objects as Pattern Weights. Today we have this jar of writing implements. It's pretty good, honestly. I like it. It has a nice weight. Don't really have any complaints besides it's pretty tall, so if I'm reaching around it, it's like hard to cut sometimes. I was going to baste my skirt pieces together to check the fit, but then I realized that that's a little bit pointless because I can just sew the skirt seams and then adjust the pleat in the back to compensate for whatever I need it to and make the waist fit. So unless I want to actually adjust my vertical seams, I should probably just sew them. Basting them probably won't, like, make a huge difference. For once. Normally I'm like, baste, you should baste everything ever, and I still stand by that, except maybe not for this. So I'm going to just go ahead and sew my vertical seams with the French seam. Except for the center back, I think I need to add a placket. The center back, instead of doing a French seam, I think I'm going to do just a normal seam, and then I'll hand fill those edges so that I can have that seam open to allow for the placket and to have the edges kind of finished separately. This skirt is not going to have any pockets. I know. On my to-do list for today is cut out a placket, cut out a waistband, and attach the placket and hand fill the center back seam. I think that's good for now, and then I might attach the waistband and also pleat the skirt if I have time. Thinking about the waistband, I have looked at this fabric and kind of felt it and tried to figure out which way is the cross grain and which way is on grain, because usually on grain will be a little bit sturdier, but neither of these are particularly sturdy, so I think I'm going to need to back my waistband with something that is very sturdy, like a ribbon or a twill tape. Okay, that should be good enough. I decided to do pick stitches, which are essentially spaced back stitches along the top. Hopefully this will show a little bit less on the outside. So this looks kind of awful, but I think it will serve my purposes. I think it's partly just because this ribbon is green, so it looks weird, but also just the wrinkling. But I think it'll serve my purposes because when I stretch it, it looks decent. So I'm going to go ahead and take out these basting stitches. Now I have some waxed thread on a much smaller needle, and I'm going to hem the skirt. I should wear a thimble. So I'm wearing this with a romper that I made a while ago that's rayon. It's very modern, but it was the only thing that kind of created the blousing shape that I was looking for. So yeah, there you go. friends! I am really happy with this walking skirt. I am in love with the shape. I sometimes look at walking skirts and I love it, and sometimes I look at them and I'm like, I don't know about that shape, especially on me. But this one, I am really happy with. It has a little bit more of that trumpet shape, which I feel like is a little bit later kind of Edwardian than late Victorian, but I like it. So we're gonna say it's fine. So actually this was worn with no underpinning. So I just have this kind of vertical pieced rayon romper that I made a while back. So I'm not wearing any corset, any petticoats, nothing like that. So this is just the shape that this has. I would probably go with about 1/4 of an inch larger waist next time. This is about my waist measurement taken basically as snugly as you can, like in the morning. So it's a very, very snug waist on me, and I probably would go up about 1/4 of an inch next time. Although this is workable, which I'm kind of surprised by. It's not terribly uncomfortable, it's just a little bit hard to clasp in the back. So I think adding 1/4 of an inch, it wouldn't lose the kind of security of this small waistband, but it would just be a little bit easier to clasp. So yeah, probably would do that. I actually made the placket opening a little bit too short, so I can put it on, but it is a little bit snug, and because this fabric is like a cotton flannel, so it's very flimsy, I almost started to rip the fabric the first time, so I had to go in with some silk twist and kind of embroider slash, what do you call it? I made like a bar tack. And then I like went back and made it a T. But yeah, so now it's fine. I just have to be careful when I'm putting it on and taking it off not to put pressure on that placket opening. But in the future I probably would make it 1 inch longer just so that I have a comfortable amount of room to put on and take off this skirt. But it works. It works. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram to see more of this little pumpkin friend. Excuse me, you're not cooperating. Oh my gosh, she's purring. Excuse me, too. But yeah, also like thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed and I'm like, ah! Yeah, okay. This is the end of the video. Subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, or you can message me on Instagram. And yeah, that's about it. Also, like, I made a waistcoat with the same fabric as this, but it's like very modern and much looser fit, so I feel like it won't really look good with this, but I haven't tried it yet, so maybe I should do that before I say something about it. Okay, bye!